The doctor makes a house call in the Lake City. At this point, is there anything that can stop Stewie at Fonda? That goes the same for that guy at Lebanon Valley. Johnny, Boston cream, blueberry, Bavarian cream, doesn't matter how many donuts you do, it's still time to start Race Pro Week. Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Race Pro Weekly. I'm your host, Mike Warren. Last week, the Super Dirt Car Series made a trip up to the North Country to the Airborne Park Speedway and the Battle of Plattsburgh 100. Let's see who would take home the action, brought to you by Landho Maintenance. The four-wide salute to the fans just before the green would fly, as it would be Super Matt Shepard taking the early race lead as he drew the pole in this event, looking to lead all 100 in this one to go to victory lane. Jesse Mueller up on the outside lane early, trying to make a move past Rich Scalata for the number 2 spot as he races with Eric Rudolph coming down the front stretch. He would move into that position and get by Scalata. Rudolph, though, one of the fastest cars in the early portion of this event. It wouldn't take him long to get by Scalata. Danny Johnson looking to follow Tim Fuller as well, as now Shepard still up in that number 1 spot, but eventually it would be Rudolph sneaking past Mueller for second, as the Dr. Danny Johnson looking to work past the 19 of Mueller as well up through turn number 2, as he would take the position away down the backstretch. Rudolph now in heavy lap traffic, trying to run down the 9S machine as that Dentist Company's car kept working the high lane throughout the entire night. Keep that in mind as we move to the closing stages of the race, as Jan Bussier has trouble on that Autodrome Drummond machine. Off the restart, Eric Rudolph working his way on the inside lane, looking to take a shot at him up off by turn number 3 and 4, but Shepard just too strong on the outside. But now Rudolph will get a new challenger in the form of the Doctor, Danny Johnson, as he looked to work his way down on the inside lane. Eventually, it would be the Doctor getting by him with just 6 to go, and he would start reeling in the 9S as Shepard would take the 2 to go sign from Dave Farney, but Brett Hearn would bring out a yellow, coming to a stop that set up a green-white checkered. And off the restart, Shepard's high line starting to go away. The Doctor powers it down on the bottom into turn number 3 and 4. He puts a medical slider, that's a new term on this show, on him to go to the front as he would take the race lead away, coming to the white flag. Nothing stopping the Doctor as he makes the house call up in the Battle of Plattsburgh 100. Matt Shepard would settle for spot number 2. Max McLaughlin coming home with a strong third-place finish. Eric Rudolph and Jimmy Phelps bookending the top 5 in that number 98H. To the track of champions we go for some modified action as the green flag would come out, but trouble would ensue early as Troy Palmer and Pep Karate come together down the front straightaway, sending a number of cars up into turn number 1 and 2 as they pile in. And a lot of cars involved, a lot of heavy hitters, as you can see. Stuart Friesen getting out of the car, checking it over. Jeremy Wilder, Willie Decker in there. Craig Hansen, Bobby Varon, Rocky Warner also involved. And just a tough break for a lot of them, but that's the 44 car driving away. We'll see if it would affect them in the event. Cody Blue would take the lead along with Scott Huber down to the turn number 1 and 2 as they would fight for the number 1 spot, as Friesen quickly trying to work his way up through the field to get by Willie Decker for position, get past Josh Hohenforce, who was driving in that number 3 car, that backup machine out of Hoyanga Motorsports. Speaking of Hoyanga Motorsports, here's Stuart Friesen going around the outside of Sean Pangman as Cody Blue trying to hold on to Scott Huber, is now Stewie already up into spot number 3, trying to make his move on the outside lane. Huber trying to hold off the 44 machine as here comes Friesen on the outside, lift in the left front through the air, and he's going to make it look easy as they head into turn number 3 and 4, but Huber not letting him go just too easy, as now it would be the number 44 up into spot number 2 trying to chase down Cody Blue for position. This great 3-car battle will continue as they head down the short shooting past the Cow Palace, and off at turn number 4, Stuart Friesen trying to make the pass up into turn number 1 to get by Blue, and he does. Cody Blue backslides into the number 2 spot as Friesen takes the lead. Rocky Warner and Willie Decker trying to work their way up through the field. A lot of great battles going on the racetrack as Darwin Green trying to fight with Willie Decker for position up off by turn number 2 as the 2 1s go at it up off the corner. Now Josh Hohenforce working to the outside. He touches with his teammate for the night, Sean Pangman, coming down the front stretch, as now Pangman would sneak by Cody Blue, and now you got all 3 Lottie Hoyanga cars going at it up off by turn number 4. As they battle off the corner, Cody Blue trying to hold off Pangman as they come down the front straightaway, but Pangman just a little bit too strong. Hohenforce trying to make his move in there as well, but it's all behind Stuart Friesen, who picks up another one at the track of champions. Scott Huber with a great run coming home second. Josh Hohenforce would finish in third. Cody Blue would finish in fourth, and Sean Pangman would finish in fifth. Chad Edwards picking up the win in the Sportsman. Pro Stocks going to Kenny Gates, Johnny Young in the Street Stocks, and Bill Port in the Limited Sportsman. It's now time for this week's John Ray & Sons fan poll question, which is, if a dirt-modified video game was developed, who should be on the cover? To cast your answer, head to facebook.com/RaceProWeekly, and answers will be read on next week's show. Let's take a look at last week's question, which was, who do you think is the next driver that should be inducted into the Northeast Dirt Modified Hall of Fame? Well, I had a feeling this was coming after Tremont got inducted last week, but Brett Hearn with the highest amount of answers with 50%, Billy Decker coming in second with 30%, Danny Johnson third with 10%, and Pat O'Brien also with 10% in the voting. Coming up on Race Pro Weekly, we head to the Can-Am Speedway to see if Billy Dunn could get back to his winning ways. Plus, we go down on the high banks where an epic point battle is starting to brew.
You know, Mother Nature makes the best products, and Ghent Wood Products in Columbia County has figured out the secret. We use locally harvested trees, milled and kiln-dried right on site in Ghent. We stock rough-cut lumber, green or kiln-dried. If you prefer finished products, we offer that too, including shiplap, flooring, paneling, exterior siding, and tabletops. Come check out the reclaimed mushroom wood and barnwood siding. We combine the mill experience with a retail store, so you can go straight to the mill and handpick the wood you want.
Hi, I'm Eric Pope, General Manager of John Ray & Sons. We're proud to be offering Bryant heating and air conditioning systems. Just like us, Bryant has been delivering home comfort solutions for more than a century.
Call today for a free consultation and save up to $875 with Bryant bonus rebates.
I'm Michael Laporte, Service Manager. From sales to service, our goal is to keep you comfortable, whatever it takes. Ductless AC is a perfect solution for homes without ductwork, new additions, or anywhere you need cool relief.
Call or visit johnray.com today.
There's only one place in the Capital Region for you to get the full racing action. Stop down at the Bobco video booth at the track or call 518-399-0937. Bobco Racing Video, the next best thing to being there. Welcome back to RPW as we head to the Can-Am Speedway as Scott Webb going to take the early race lead up into turn number 1 and 2 for their small block modified feature event. Jordan McCready going to slide by Nick Webb for that number 2 spot as they power down into turn number 3 and 4 with Billy Dunn on the move early and often, getting by Ryan Arbuthnot for position and setting his sights on the 9 to McCready just a couple of laps into this feature event. Caution will come out as Nick Webb would have trouble pulling into the pit area, and now Scott Webb would have a challenger on the inside. That is the 9 of Billy Dunn, as Dunn fending off the challenges from McCready that time off the restart, and he would look to reel in your race leader as Ryan Arbuthnot now going to make his way up on the inside lane looking for spot number 3. The R70 would move into that position, is now the number 9. Machine in front of him would look to set his sights on the 18, working to the inside. A great side-by-side battle for the lead. Dunn trying to work the inside lane. Webb would come back on the outside, but he slips up the hill just enough, and that allows Billy Dunn to drive underneath them. And now the pocket rocket, Danny O'Brien, almost coming out of nowhere, moving into spot number 3. And this is a great battle. Keep an eye on this one. Jordan McCready trying to make a move to the inside lane in the number 9, trying to get by the 17. Arbuthnot right there as well. A lot of sliders being thrown in this one, and oh, you do know I love slide jobs. We got a couple more electric ones coming your way. Meanwhile, here's the 17 of O'Brien working his way up off of turn number 4. He tries to square off the corner as McCready holds up in front of Arbuthnot. Here's Arbuthnot working the outside lane one more time on McCready trying to make a move, but McCready just a little bit too strong that time on the inside. Now Arbuthnot gets by McCready and now tries to pull the electric slide job on the 17 of O'Brien. O'Brien going to try to battle back on the inside lane off of turn number 4. Arbuthnot would have the spot, and then he'd pull a slider on Scott Webb for the number 2 spot. Webb would try to battle back on the inside. They go side by side for position. But, yeah, that Billy Dunn guy, he's gone and picks up the victory out of Can-Am. Arbuthnot with a great battle at finishing second. Danny O'Brien would come home third. Scott Webb fourth, and Jordan McCready would round out the top 5. Other winners on the night, Dave Rogers would grab the win in the Sportsman. Pro Streets would go to Sid Harmer Jr. Phil DeSormo the third in the Thunder Stocks, and Kevin Warren, great last name, in the Rookie Sportsman. To the high banks of the Valley of Speed we go with some Pro Stock action. Jay Casey getting to the back bumper and Dave Stickles on the back stretch, and this ain't good. A pile up down the back straightaway. A number of cars damaged in this one, and a tough break for a number of drivers. Off of a late race restart, Robbie Yetman going to pull a slider on Nick Arnold, the bump at turn number 2, and he would go on to win the old buzzard out at the Valley for the Pro Stocks. In the modifieds now, some great battling in the early going as Olton Dwyer would take the early race lead as John Rochelle, LJ Lombardo, Kyle Armstrong go at it, but it wouldn't be long before the Wild Child, Andy Bacchetti, and that Garrity Asphalt reclaiming car number 4 machine would go to the front. Cars looking to make their way up through the field as the 20 of Brett Hearn would power his way up on the outside lane, then shift back to the inside as he looks to try to run down Colby Schroeder and crack the top 5 in the early going. You knew it wouldn't be long as he would make the move on the bottom side, as he would get by Schroeder and look to set his sights on Lombardo. A lot of great battling in the top 5, but behind them, Keith Flack trying to make his way up through the field as he looked to crack the top 5. Here's a slide job, electric style, by LJ Lombardo, but the 25 of Chad Jezio going to power back on the inside lane. And then, hey, I'm Brett Hearn. I'm going to go to the inside lane where I like to go, and I'm going to take these 2 positions away as he now moves his way into spot number 3. Hearn not wasting any time trying to get by Dwyer to try to backslide him to spot number 3 coming down the front stretch, and he does, and it wouldn't be long, as you'll see in a minute as the caution comes out, and then a restart would pull up the number 20 to the inside of Andy Bacchetti, and, well, we've seen this picture a few times. Hearn on the inside lane slides up in front, but alas, the caution comes out again for the 42 of Josh Marcus, and this would set up another restart, but Hearn, as the leader, powers up on the outside. Some great 3-wide battling as Kyle Sheldon looks to make his presence known as Hearn getting out quick in front of the Bacchetti number 4 machine. There's a lot of 3-wide battling behind him. Ronnie Johnson trying to salvage what he can to the point standings here on this night of racing action because Brett Hearn officially retakes it with his victory out at the Valley. Bacchetti would finish in 2nd, Kyle Sheldon would come home 3rd, Keith Flack 4th, and Kyle Armstrong would finish in 5th. Other winners on the night, 358 modifieds would go to Kenny Tremont. Peter Carlotta would pick up the win in the Sportsman. Rob Yetman grabs the win in the Pro Stocks. Jesse Murphy grabbing the win in Pure Stock number 1, and Johnny Devine picking up the win in Pure Stock number 2. When we come back, we'll head to the Devil's Bowl Speedway for some Sportsman action. Plus, we'll head down to the legendary House of Power.
Spring is finally here and the temperatures are rising and the deals are hotter than ever. Hi, I'm Charlie Morris of Morris Ford in Burnt Hills. You have to come in for the hottest cars, trucks, and SUVs on the market today here at Morris Ford, all with leading technology and advanced safety. With thousands off and low payments, there's never been a better time to buy a new Ford. So come in to Morris Ford and let us show you why we've been selling cars in the Capital District for over 46 years.
Our military cars will always be #1.
Reputable. Reliable. Results. That's what you get when you call Rick and the professionals at RCT Roofing. Quality service at fair prices. RCT gets the job done. Just like Nick Stone and the RCT Pro Stock. RCT Roofing, we've got you covered. Welcome back to Race Pro Weekly. Final leg of Triple Tens for the Limited Sportsman at Devil's Bowl, and Montgomery Tremont picking up his first career victory. Congratulations to the driver out of West Sand Lake. To the Sportsman feature event now, it would be James Fadden and Flying Jimmy Ryan up at the front of the field as they work their way up into turn number 1 and 2, and it would be a spirited side-by-side battle in the early going of this one as the cars would work their way together, and you really couldn't get them apart. Jake Scarborough going to go 3 wide as Kenny Tremont looking to split the middle between him and Tanner Siemens down the back straightaway and into turn number 3 and 4 as Jimmy Ryan will continue to lead after lap number 3. Fadden would try to come back on the inside lane as they work their way up off at turn number 4 as cars behind them starting to power up, but then a couple of cars get together in turn number 4 as John St. Germain Jr. goes around. A number of cars pile in. Thomas Kimball there as well as Fadden would retake the lead off the restart with Billy Lucier making a move to the inside, looking to take the number 2 spot away. Field would work its way down the back straightaway as Jake Scarborough and Joey Scarborough both trying to work their way up through the field in the late going as Lucier now going for the race lead on the inside at turn number 2. He'd sneak that away from Fadden up off the corner as the Scarborough twins working their way up along with Tim LeDuc as the Orwell Express trying to make a move to get by Jim Ryan. A tough break for Thomas Kimball as you can see that car almost destroyed with sheet metal. And now off the restart, here's the Cupcake Express. Marty Kelly III looking to make a move for the race lead on the outside. Joey Scarborough works his way up on the outside lane to turn number 2 to get the number 2 spot away as LeDuc gets into the back bumper of Kelly, and I believe some damage would ensue on that Howard's Garage entry as that would be a tough break for the 21. Off the restart, the 38 of Joey Scarborough going to drive right around the outside of Lucier to take the race lead away up off of turn number 4 with just 7 laps to go as the Brandon Vermont driver in that Central Vermont Motorcycles entry continuing to work his way up. Lucier would get into the back bumper and lose momentum down the backstretch, and that would be all Joey Scarborough needed as he picked up his second win of the season out at the bowl. Lucier would come home in spot number 2, Jake Scarborough with a strong third-place run. Tim LeDuc would come home in 4th, and Jimmy Ryan would finish in 5th. Other winners on the night in the Limited Sportsman. Overall winner of those Triple Tens would be Joey Roberts. Chris Murray would pick up the win in the Super Stocks. The Snarf, Caleb Shepard with the win in the Mini Stocks, and Austin Shaves with the win in the Mini Sprints. To the legendary House of Power we go as Matt Janiak would lead the field to the green to the modified feature event down on the hard clay as Janiak leads him up into turn number 1 and 2. A lot of close quarter battling down the backstretch here for the first time as Anthony Perrego looking to win this one from the 10th starting position as they work their way down the front stretch. Great spirited battle by 2 veterans. Jimmy Horton and Richie Urick go at it just outside the top 5 up through turn number 2. Now Johnny Lito up on the back bumper of C.G. Morey looking for the number 2 spot as they power down into turn number 3 and 4 as cars continue to work their way up, and Perrego now working to the inside lane of the 43 of Jimmy Horton for position. Then to the outside of Hollywood, Craig Mitchell trying to pick up another spot up off of turn number 4. And he would keep going. He was like the Energizer Bunny out there, picking up another car at a time as Perrego continuing to work that 44 up toward the front of the field. Mitchell going to try to do the same thing as Horton now going to look to follow, staying in the top 5 as the veterans try to make moves behind the number 44 machine. But Matt Janiak was so far out in front, it reminds you of Awesome Bill from Dawsonville back in the day in Talladega when he completely whooped the field. But that's how far back you got to go to get Johnny Lito as Anthony Perrego sits back in 3rd now. Janiak working through lap traffic, and that's the guy who started right next to him. So Janiak working his way up through the field, and this is all he needed to pick up the win in that Hallmark car number 17J. Janiak picks up the win. Lito would finish in 2nd. Anthony Perrego 3rd. Craig Mitchell 4th. And coming home 5th would be C.G. Morey. Other winners on the night, Anthony Perrego grabbing a win in the 358. Sportsman going to Joe Conklin. Jim Hajowski picking up the win in the Street Stocks. When we come back, we'll take another trip back up to the North Country to see what happened in Sportsman Action. And we'll head to Glen Ridge to see if anybody can collect a bounty. Keep it locked right here on RPW. Performance, quality, service. That's DMC Racing Products. Hundreds of name brand parts, competitive prices. That's DMC. DMC Racing Products, race to win. If you are a tracker series that would like to be highlighted on Race Pro Weekly, email us at show@raceproweekly.com. Welcome back to Race Pro Weekly. Sportsman Action up at the Big A as it would be Zach Daniels leading the field up into turn number 1 and 2. Jason McClatchy right there on the outside lane, but it would be Daniels with the early race lead as Rico Hernandez looks to make a move for the number 2 spot. Bucko Branham making his presence known in the early going as well as a lot of cars battle for the top 5 positions. Jack Spieshak also in there, but it would be McClatchy up on the outside at turn number 4 taking the lead away, while Bucko Branham makes a great move to move in front of Spieshak to hold on to the number 5 spot. Wouldn't be long before Spieshak would work his way up, however, working that inside lane he loves so much out of the Airborne Park Speedway, as now Devin Willis would slide by the 30 of Zach Daniels per second. The 08 of Spieshak going to follow into 3rd, and it wouldn't be long till he continued to work the bottom of the racetrack. He'd get to position number 2, up into turn number 2 that time, and off turn number 4, clicking off lap number 10, it would be Spieshak as your race leader. McClatchy tried to battle back on the outside lane, but Spieshak just a little bit too strong as now cars start to make their way up through the field. Mike Finney in the 38. Here's the 48 of Patrick Picotan, also on the outside lane, looking to make a move past Willis. Willis trying to go back-to-back in sportsman competition, looking to hold off McClatchy that time off at turn number 4 as the caution will come out with just 4 laps to go for Zach Daniels. Off the restart, here's the 20 of Bucko Branham trying to make a move up on the outside, but Spieshak going to be a little too strong. Branham takes another shot through 3 and 4 with Picotan right underneath them as they come to click off lap number 24. Nothing doing as Picotan will slide in front of Branham for second, but they weren't catching Spieshak, who picks up his first career win up at Airborne. Second would be Picotan. Bucko Branham coming home 3rd, Lonnie Rivers 4th, and Devin Willis would finish in 5th. To the Ridge we go. It would be Bill August going out to the number 1 spot in the early going of this one through turn number 3 and 4. Joe Orlando working his way to the inside, trying to get by Tim Hartman Jr., who would work his way up on the top, looking to take the number 3 spot in that number 22 machine. It wouldn't be long before TH2 would go to spot number 2 to take the position away and set his sights on Bill August. Field going to work its way through now as here's the 7 of Dave Constantino up on the top, looking to take a couple of spots away with the lunchbox Chad Edwards involved as a car gets tagged up in turn number 2. That is the 50 of Bill August. A tough break for the Electric City Taxi entry. Off of the restart, it would be the 22 of Tim Hartman Jr. Back out at the front as the lunchbox looking to pack the field away up on the top side this time, trying to make a move around Constantino to hold the position. Constantino going to find his way down on the inside. He get by the 9 of Ventrone and look to work his way up past Orlando. He would do that on the inside of turn number 1 and 2 and try to set his sights on Tim Hartman Jr. as the closing stages of this one would start to ensue, and the top 2 really starting to run out at the front here in this one as we move toward the end of this feature event. A caution for the 54 of Hohenschelt would bring the restart together, and it wouldn't be long before Dave Constantino would work his way up on the top side, looking to take that number 1 spot away through turn number 3 and 4. They're side by side off the corner, and it would be Constantino going to the front in that West End towing entry. Chad Edwards looking to try to run down Tim Hartman Jr. for position, but they weren't catching Constantino, who picks up the win out the Ridge. Hartman Jr. would finish in spot number 2, then it'd be Chad Edwards 3rd, Joe Orlando 4th, and Jim Introne would finish in 5th. Other winners on the night, Limited Sportsman would go to Ryan Heath, Justin Knight in the Pro Stock, Street Stocks to Dave Cook, Keith Tessero Sr. in the 4-cylinder single cam, 4-cylinder dual cam to Cole Lawton, Danny Ballard in the senior slingshots, and junior slingshots to Brock Pinkerus. It's now time for this week's NISCA Performer of the Week, and with his win at Fonda, actually more shocking than you've seen in a long time, it goes to the 44 of Stuart Friesen. Stewie is now eligible for the Performer of the Year award given out at the end of the year. That's all for this week's show. For the latest news, results, and photos, check out Race Pro Weekly online at www.raceproweekly.com, and be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. So for myself, Bobby Chalmers, Fast Eddie, Scott Morlock, Amber Chalmers, and everyone that helps put Race Pro Weekly together, thank you for watching this week's episode, and we'll see you next time.